Live rosin and live resin are two of the more popular extracts on the market right now, and I still get a lot of questions about both. What's the difference? What's better? So I'm making this video to help you understand some of the major differences and to let you know which ones I prefer. But before we get too deep in this video, YouTube just denied me from monetization again 2 months in a row. So if you want to help support my content and these daily videos I'm bringing, go subscribe to me on Twitch. It helps support me overall. It's only $5 a month. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can actually get that $5 subscription for free once a month. So check me out on Twitch. I'm usually live after 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, the first major difference is the extraction process for rosin and resin. Assuming they're both live, they're going to use the same starting material, a plant that was frozen live. For live extracts, when they chop the plants down, they dunk them in liquid nitrogen, or they put them in a freezer with dry ice so they freeze immediately, and then they usually do the extraction within a couple of days. Well, you have the same starting material for both, but then the method of extraction varies for either. With live resin, you're using a cold hydrocarbon extract. A lot of dabs are made with hydrocarbons. You've heard of BHO and PHO. Well, they chill the solvent down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also negative 40 Celsius, and they extract the frozen plant in cold conditions. And what this does is it helps preserve the terpenes. And live resin extracts usually have the highest percentage of terpenes. You're not losing any or many through the extraction process like you might with a live rosin extract. You see, rosin starts with that fresh frozen material, and then they remove the trichomes from the plant by putting it in ice water and then agitating it, stirring it around, and making what you would call bubble hash. You can also do this with like dry ice, or you can dry sift. But the most common method, I believe, is bubble hash, where they use ice water. And after making the ice water hash, you dry that out, and then you use heat and pressure to make hash rosin. So because you're using heat, you're going to lose some terpenes with the rosin. There's a lot of different terpenes, and some of them have really low boiling points. So just through the method of extraction, you're going to lose those. They literally squeeze the cannabis oil out and use heat to help release it. So that heat that helps the extraction also causes you to lose a little bit. But it's not like it's a ton of terpenes. It's not like you're losing most of the terpenes. I've still seen some live rosin extracts that had over 10% terpenes, which I think is nuts. So I think in my experience, live resins have a higher, stronger flavor, but live rosins can still have a really good flavor. You're going to find higher terpene levels and more complete terpene profiles in a live resin extract versus a rosin. Another major difference in the two types of extracts is the amount that you get, or the yield. Hydrocarbon extracts typically have the highest yield. You're going to get the most amount of cannabis oil out of however much starting material you used. You take a pound of fresh frozen flower and you do a live resin extract, and a pound of fresh frozen for a live rosin extract, you're going to have more live resin at the end of the day. So you will get more with a live resin extract than you will a rosin extract, but some people don't want to smoke anything with a solvent. So with a live resin extract, you'll get a higher yield, and that higher yield will probably have a higher level of terpenes. Some people prefer rosin extracts because they don't use any solvent and there's no chance of a residual solvent left over due to a bad extraction. But because of this and because of the lower yield, you're going to pay more for live rosin. It's hard to say exactly, but in general, rosins are more expensive than resins, live or cured. I think there's a lot more producers out there for live resins over rosins, and this is going to shift and change over time, and it's going to vary between every different state that you're in. But I think recently in the last several months, we just started getting live resin, and they just started to allow hydrocarbon extracts here in Florida. Before that, everything was ethanol or rosin extraction. So on average, I think the price of rosin versus resin is maybe the resin is 30-40% cheaper. It's a little bit more than half the cost of the rosin, but those higher yields do help that price overall. So I think we're going to see more advancement in the technology and the methods that they use for the extraction process, and hopefully we see live rosin or solventless extracts in general, the price come down. It's the cleanest. In a perfect world, I would only dab live rosins made from plants that were grown in a living organic soil. So there's no added nutrients or pesticides or solvents or anything. I'm just getting that clean stuff. But we don't live in the perfect world, and we might not get there for a little while. Hopefully they legalize growing everywhere so we can just get more people making more great stuff. So overall, I do like live rosins better, but I probably get live resins a bit more. I like to dab a lot, and they're just so much cheaper that I can end up getting a lot of really tasty stuff for quite a bit less money. I'm also noticing, because they recently dropped hydrocarbon extracts, so they recently allowed hydrocarbon extracts here in Florida, that there's just so much more of them. People have been missing out essentially on live resin for a few years, and now they can get it. So I'm seeing less people make rosin. This will probably shift after a little bit of the hype wave, but at least for me here and now, I'm seeing just more and more live sugars and butters and batters and different kind of stuff pop up. So I hope this video helped you understand some of the major differences. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. And don't forget to come smoke with me on Twitch after 9 p.m. Eastern. And link that Amazon Prime if you got it. You can really help me out. Also, if you missed my video that broke down the differences on live resins and cured resins, check this out. It's got some good info in it. Later, dudes.